Hello, I'm Refashionista Sheri, and I thought it might be fun to do a little show and tell and share with you all of the nifty, thrifty gifties that I got for Thriftmas. So let's head downstairs and I'll show ya. Okay, so I have brought everything down that fits the vintage and secondhand criteria of Thriftmas here. And I'm going to start with the ones that I actually did not pick out for myself and was really touched and surprised to receive, actually. So I'm sure any other Gen X girly is going to recognize this, and I was very surprised when I opened this up, and let's just see. Is that a familiar sound? How amazing is that? Of course, it is a vintage ballerina jewelry box. And as I said, I'm pretty sure every Gen X and elder millennial, and maybe even some boomer lassies out there, had one of these when they were a child. And as you know, since turning 50, I am kind of wanting to collect my childhood items again and maybe reparent a little Sheri in here a little bit. And it seems to be working. You know, I'm healing a lot. So anytime you think to yourself, you see something thrifting and you think, oh, I had that when I was a kid, I'd love to have it again. But then that awful voice in your head says, no, you're an adult, don't get it. Don't listen to it. Go get the things and heal that damaged little you in there, because I'm living proof that it does in fact work. Even if it's something, just something like a little jewelry box like this that you can look at and play the music and really connect to yourself once again. This one I just think is so stunning. It is a very vintage. I would actually venture to say it is antique, because the internet tells me this was probably made in the 1950s or 60s, or perhaps even the 1940s. And it's just a beautiful stained glass little storage box that, once again, according to the internet, probably stored cosmetics. So how cool is that? How come we don't have this kind of stuff anymore? It just doesn't exist. You can't go into a store and find some beautiful handmade stained glass to store your fancy cosmetics in anymore. It's a shame, really, isn't it? And an absolutely totally cool Beetlejuice lunchbox. This is, in fact, from the 80s, even though it's metal. And I always remember having plastic cartoon character lunchboxes, and they had like a thermos in them, and this clearly doesn't have the thermos in it. And I think nowadays all the cool kids are using these for purses, right? They put all of their cool kid stuff in there and use it as a purse. So perhaps I shall do that with my Beetlejuice costume this coming Halloween. I don't know, but it's just very cool, and I think it will be awesome to store a whole bunch of maybe sewing gear in this. Maybe this will be my new sewing kit. We'll see. I don't know if you can see back behind me here. There are a couple of beautiful vintage hangers. And once again, did anybody else have these when they were a kid, or maybe your grandma had them? And here, this was like smelly potpourri. And so you would hang your garments on these. And first of all, they would not get any sort of hanger marks because it's all padded. And they would also smell fresh. This does not smell fresh anymore. So I think I'm going to have to add some oil or something, maybe some lovely lemongrass scent to it so it has a smell. But there was actually four of those hangers, and I'm using them for the lovely garments that I got. And clearly this was one that I gave to myself for Thriftmas, and I even added my wonderful Refashionista patch to it. But this is exactly my Refashionista brand color, so I had to get it, right? I just absolutely had to. This actually, I think it's a bathrobe. I'm pretty sure, or what would have been known as a smoking jacket back in the day. But I just thought this was so amazingly cool. And so when I saw it on the Carrot app, it had to be got for myself for Thriftmas, right? And it's just very, very cool. And I think it can be worn as a trench coat as well. What do you think? And I almost forgot, I scored my thrifting unicorn for Thriftmas, Doc Martens, genuine Doc Martens. I have been coveting Doc Martens for literally decades, but you know what? Could never afford them. Luckily, the Thriftmas fairy found a pair at Double Take Thrift Shop for less than $20. So absolutely fantastic. And they really are genuine Doc Martens. And again, Gen Xers will understand my excitement over these, I think. Look at the bottoms. Brand new. Absolutely brand new. The only thing was the inside wasn't so great, but you know what solved that? After I cleaned them all up, I just put in some new insoles because they're like a little bit too big for me anyway, so I had to put puffy insoles in so they fit me better. And I finally get to use my amazing Refashionista pink laces that I actually managed to thrift a couple of years ago. So they have been waiting a very long time to be put to good use. But I now have my Refashionista uniform, the jumpsuit, the belt, the amazing boots, and the laces, of course. And now we're going to start with the big bag here. And this is some more stuff that I didn't request, I was given. And of course, that included Barbie things. And these are all things that were in fact thrifted, so that is fantastic. And what is this? Barbie Dreamtopia mermaid, and like new in the package, but she will go and join my other Barbies in my lovely vintage Barbie setup. Even though she's not technically vintage, she can still hang out in the bathtub or something there, I think. I actually got even more vintage and not so vintage Barbie items for Thriftmas, but I think I will do a dedicated video for all of them once I get my little elevated corner here set up. I had to move my Barbies because our new doggy just couldn't keep his paws to himself, so now I've had to set everything up higher on a table. But if you are yearning for more vintage Barbie content, I shall link my Thrifting Barbie playlist down below, and you can see all of the groovy things I've already scored. This was something that was a surprise, and I'm pretty sure this was given along with this big box here that I did request, but check this out. It is a very, very vintage and once again, perhaps even antique hair dryer. And all of these vintage beauty appliances I'm about to show you will be appearing in future videos because we have to test all of these out, right? And see if they still work. And if they do, I don't know, maybe they'll be added to my routine. I don't know, maybe, we'll see. And speaking of vintage hair appliances, look at this. Are you kidding me? How awesome is that? This is definitely an original 1970s curling iron, and it's still in the original box, which I absolutely love. Oops. Clearly the cord is detachable on this. But yeah, this is going to be another one that we're going to have to test out because it is so very, very cool. Are you kidding me? There's a very specific reason why I wanted this. And once again, I think any sort of Gen X or maybe younger boomer gals out there are going to know exactly what this is. And I think I'm going to show you actually, let's look in the box and I'll show you the reason I wanted to get it. But look at that. This... Did anybody else literally have this when they were younger? Clearly, I didn't have this. I think it was like my mother's, my grandmother's, but here you go. Here's the proof that I actually used this when I was a kid. So we will definitely be recreating that picture. And I even have a sheet set duvet cover that is so similar to that picture. So stick around for that. It will be coming up very soon. And this, of course, we will be testing out, because if I could just lay in bed and like get my hair dried, how awesome. And maybe it'll be good for keeping the Irish curls in my hair that I just recently found out that I have if I don't straighten it. I hope you enjoyed my little show and tell, and look at my wonderful t-shirt based on the novel by Stephen King, Story of My Life. Seriously. And I think, once again, any other Gen Xers out there, did you start reading Stephen King novels or V.C. Andrew novels way too young? I think I was about 8 when I read my first Stephen King novel, and 9 when I read my first V.C. Andrew. So there's a reason why Gen Xers are how we are. And if you want me to go into great detail in a future video, I am happy to do that, because who doesn't love sharing their childhood trauma with the world? And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and I'll catch ya on the zigzag. Oh, and let me know if you want to see more of the items that I got this year for Thriftmas, because I got myself some pretty cool stuff too.
This is Confessions of a Refashionista.